Hi everybody, Andre here. Today I want to talk about something that's really close to my heart, which is the importance of books on your entrepreneurial journey. Okay, so many years ago, when I was still an employee, and after I started reading Robert Kiyosaki's books, I mean we're talking about 10 years ago, when I started to have the aspirations of having my own business, or the dream, before there were actual goals written down with start and finish dates. Robert mentioned something that really stuck with me. He said, you ultimately become like the 6 people you spend the most time with. So that speaks to the law of association, which is absolutely the truth. So you basically become like the people you spend time with. That's why it's so important to make sure that you spend time with good quality people. For example, friendships, partners, that's why it's even more important for you to be critically, I don't know what the word is now, specific with regards to the person that you spend the rest of your life with, that you ask to marry, who you want to become your life partner, because that person's going to speak a lot of either positive or negative into your life, into your dreams, your goals. So anyway, when I had read that, where Robert says, where he speaks about the law of association, I realized that I was in trouble because I wanted to become an entrepreneur, but I've been spending 80% of my time at work, so I was surrounded by employees, and then I thought to myself, but I'm never going to become an entrepreneur. But then I went on to learn that, if you're in a situation like that, how can I spend time with entrepreneurs? Now, I didn't know Robert Kiyosaki personally, I don't know Warren Buffett, but then, I think it was Robert who taught me that you can get to know those people, and you can change your circle by spending time with people through their books. So what does that mean exactly? Okay, I don't know Warren Buffett, and I most likely will probably never meet him, but I do respect the man. He's one of the greatest investors who's ever lived. Okay, but I can get into his mind. I can learn a bit about him by simply just picking up one of his books, and this is how I'm going to get to know how he thinks. So it's immersing myself in their stories. This is one of his biographies. This is how I'm going to get to change the way I think. This is how I'm going to get to see the challenges that he's had. I'm going to get to learn about his journey. This is a biography, so biographies are more about someone's stories, their life journey, where they started up and to where they are today. And then you get books where you can learn certain skills. We've got, for example, I mentioned that as an entrepreneur, sales, or having the ability to sell, is your number one skill, and the number one, it's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. You have to learn how to sell. And again, like I said in the previous video, it doesn't mean you go knock on doors, but I mean, this book, I highly recommend this. I don't know Tom Hopkins personally. Again, I'll probably never meet him, but I've learned more from this book than any other book on sales that I've read. And I'm not saying I'm going to be the best or I am the best salesman, but I can guarantee you one thing: before I read this book compared to now, I'm a hell of a lot better at sales than I was before I read the book. So I may not know great salespeople, but I've spent time. I've got to spend time with Tom Hopkins. I've learned some of his stories. I've learned, the trials and the challenges and the obstacles that he's had to overcome. So I've learned from Tom Hopkins, okay, through his books, and this is why it's so important. I also highly recommend reading, local books. Those are international authors. So I'm currently based in Gauteng. I've recently just started reading this book from this young man, DJ Spoo, Billionaires Under Construction. Again, he comes from Tembisa, which is a very poor area back in the day, and he shares his stories, and it's also very encouraging. So this is how I get to spend time with him. And again, I'll probably never meet the man. I think the best I'll get out of him is probably maybe just a tweet or a like or a retweet, but that's not the point. The point is I can still get to spend time with these guys and get to see how they think and how they act and how they operate and what they did in certain ways and how they dealt with adversity, which is pretty much inevitable on your entrepreneurial journey. So I know many of you guys may think, yeah, but I don't like reading, I never have. I think that is a bit of an attitude adjustment that you're going to need to make. And if you really don't like to read, then there are podcasts, there's audiobooks, but it's really a powerful principle in terms of you need to learn how to find role models, first of all, fellow entrepreneurs or people who are where you want to be, and this is how you're gonna get to know how they think and better yourself and upskill yourself by immersing yourself in some of their material. So if you haven't developed the habit of reading yet, I strongly urge you to do so. And I guarantee you, your life is going to change. You're going to start thinking differently. You're going to start speaking differently. You're going to start acting differently, and you're going to start getting different results. But the most important part is, just spend some time with these guys, because we don't all have business friends or top entrepreneurs. Some of us are very fortunate that we do know some of those guys. But if you don't, if you're stuck in the job, and this is definitely the way to go. And again, if you don't like reading, there are podcasts, there's YouTube videos, audio programs, but you need to do something. Okay, so all the best, and I really hope that you guys start developing and cultivating a lifelong habit of reading. Cheers.